profound responses, guys. And it's just to tell us that we should manage, our relationships with people better and see their imperfections and still, love them. And I'm going to now take us to the next question, Fola. How do we continue to maintain our trust in God even when people around us disappoint us and all of this? How do we still trust God?
Yeah, that's a very good question because sometimes when we are young Christians, the people that lead us to Christ are first God in a way because we see God through them. However, as we keep growing, knowing God day by day, from your book, you said you cannot measure God's faithfulness by the unfaithfulness of people, which is very profound. So even though people might fail, God never fails. We should not stop trusting God because we should not stop trusting in God, but because we are humans, like Buki said, we are imperfect. We are striving to be better every day. So giving grace, trusting in God, and one thing one of our friends said earlier was managing expectations. I know it could be a little bit challenging to manage expectations, especially when you meet someone and you feel like, oh, this person has got it, and maybe they've helped you. They're like almost a mentor to you, and the slightest thing you never expected it to happen. But forgive yourself, forgive them if you can. Walk up to them and hear them out. Yes, you can, but not everybody wants to be heard out. So trust God in them and pray for them. Yeah, pray for them, pray for yourself to move past it because sometimes you might be in that web of, oh my God, this person did this person did this. I expected better. And instead of staying in that web, draw yourself out and move forward and trust in God. Yeah, like you said the choice is yours. Will you trust a faithful God or will you continue to rely on people who are limited and fallible? So that is very, very important because
Yeah.
and he said, don't try to figure out how God will do what He's promised.
Yeah.
Just trust that He will,
Yeah.
and that alone is enough. So
Yes.
when people promise and they fail, we know that God's promises
Will not
stand.
fail.
Yeah.
Yes.
Though you might tarry, but it will surely come to pass.
Yes.
Yes.
Because God is God. He has said it before, He has done it before, He will continue to do it.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you actually talking about, you mentioned the faithfulness of God,
Mm.
and a good way to practicalize or understand the faithfulness of God is to study the Bible.
Yeah.
Because when you study the Bible, you see how God establishes relationship with men and what the outcome of their life is. So you sort of see how they started and how it ended. And through that whole phase or the phases or seasons of their life, God is there.
Mm.
Like he doesn't show up at some time and then just decide that, I'm just done with you. When God starts with you, once he starts, he's going to finish and he's going to finish well with you. And I think also dealing with relationships, particularly when one has been hurt or expectations have not been met, those are things that we could actually take to God as well in
Yeah,
prayers,
true.
particularly because sometimes there is a rule book to say this is how you should do it.
Yeah.
This is how you can go about it. But sometimes
Mm.
all of those things, you try it and it doesn't even work.
Yeah.
And you just see yourself like, I'm tired of this thing. Like, I want this hurt to go away. I don't want to keep feeling this way,
True.
but I can't help it. But if in that period, you're able to find strength to actually tell God about it and ask for help. Sometimes things that you've not never read in a book or somebody has never said to you, he's able to tell you how to navigate step by step, a day at a time.
Yeah.
And you just, at some point, you you might not even be able to say this is when it went away. But at some point, you just look back and you don't feel that way anymore. And that's what God does. He really comes, he steps in and he helps us out of helpless situations that we could not help ourselves. Of I have my own stories as well, particularly with relationships. Before I got married, a couple of relationships that did not work, and it was so hurtful and painful. And at some point, I think I had zeroed my mind that I don't think this married thing is for me. but all of that was what I had to take to God in prayer.
Yeah.
And taking it to God in prayer did not mean that the next day I had the very best of relationships, but he became present in it. And his presence in it helped me to see things in a different way. In short, it's in a way that he started working in me to see that there were even things about my own self that I needed to change. In my tastes, in the things I liked. He was working. How I thought he would do it is that he would just bring, a difference. He would just change my circle of friends or something, But when he started with me, a work in my heart. And by time, as that was going on, it also impacted on what I wanted and what I liked. And, my circle of friendship also sort of changed. And, it transformed my life in that way. So sometimes it's just taking that struggle to God, taking those past hurts to God and asking him for help. Literally, God, help me with this thing, and a day at a time, it gets easier and it gets better.
Yeah, and it really takes trust in God to ask him to help you. Knowing that you can't really do it yourself, just laying it bare and asking him to help you. Very important. So with this, we'll round up chapter 7, and then we'll see you guys in chapter 8. Bye.